I'm Joey Hollywood, and today I'm reviewing the Anaconda series. That's right, they made more than one. Some may believe they should have stopped before the first, but I have a lot of fond memories watching the first one as a kid. You see, I was obsessed with giant monster movies as a kid. I personally blame Godzilla for this. I've seen them all, from Lake Placid to the Killer Shrews. You can imagine my disappointment when I saw Frogs for the first time. A movie where the title and the poster is a complete lie, because it contains no giant frogs, and the movie is entirely composed of animal attacks from every other thing but frogs. But I digress. The Anaconda series is your average monster movie series. It gets worse with every movie, especially when the Sci-Fi Channel picks it up. Like most B-grade monster movies, these films are technically not good. Some of them borderline on being awful, but it's partly due to these flaws that makes me find them enjoyable. Anaconda is a 1997 horror movie directed by Louis Losa and stars such big names as Jennifer Lopez, Ice Cube, Owen Wilson, and even Danny Trejo gets a shot in the film. The DVD says Anaconda is like Jaws in the Amazon, but I'd say this movie has more in common with The Creature from the Black Lagoon than Jaws. The plot revolves around a documentary crew looking for the lost tribe of MacGuffin. On the way, they pick up a snake hunter whose boat broke down, played by Jon Voight, who has sinister plans for the crew. Jon Voight's performance in this one is the highlight of the movie. He goes from crazy over the top to subtle but threatening, sometimes within the same scene. When this movie is usually brought up, people usually talk about how bad the snake looks. And honestly, for the most part, the snake looks fine. Don't get me wrong, when the snake looks bad, it looks really bad. But other than those few scenes, I think the snake looks great. And if the cheapness of the snake deters your enjoyment of this film, I'd recommend avoiding any of the sequels. And honestly, the worst of this movie is not the snake. It's moments like this. Now this footage is completely unaltered. I didn't do anything to it. They just reversed the footage. I mean, didn't they have footage of it backing out? Or they could have just matted the normal waterfall going down and reversed the footage like this. Honestly, I really like this movie. It's by no means great, but it's a fun little monster movie, and every once in a while I pop it in for a few laughs. The sequel uses alien logic by calling itself AnacondaS, Hunt for the Blood Orchid. And it's pretty much a Xerox version of the first movie script with less interesting characters and more snakes, but fewer interactions with them. Instead of looking for the lost tribe, they're now looking for the MacGuffin blood orchid that can cure cancer. The original film took place in the Amazon, where this one takes place in Southeast Asia, which provides an interesting plot hole when one of the characters alludes to the events in the first film. Not to mention, there are no anacondas in Southeast Asia. By far, one of the best parts in this film is the waterfall sequence. It's pretty action-packed, and leads to the characters having to continue their mission on foot. This should have led to some great monster moments, but instead it mostly spends its time dealing with these flat 2D people that I care nothing about. Now, I'm not saying that the characters in the original movie were all that deep, but these people are just boring. And the Jon Voight equivalent in this movie just decides to be evil for whatever. And he's really lacking as a villain. The actual snake moments, however, are quite fun, though there's not enough of them for my taste. And the ending's pretty satisfying for a movie that's so dull. Now, I gotta be honest with you guys. The whole reason why I'm reviewing this series again is because I want to talk about this movie. Anaconda 3 Offspring is my favorite of the whole series. It's just the right consistency of bad. Your first clue of what kind of movie this is should be the DVD cover art. First, let's take a look at the original poster released online to promote the film. Now look at the art that actually made it onto the DVD cover. What is that? They literally just pasted a crappy clip art monster dragon face on the poster. Like, what were they thinking? Well, we have this crappy sequel to this crappy film series. Instead of having a poster that looks halfway decent, let's just slap this monster face on this snake. Yep, that looks great. Time for the next Anaconda movie. Another clue of what kind of movie this is should be that it was released by the Sci-Fi No! The Sci-Fi Channel. My god, this movie's great. Don't believe me? Check this crap out. This might just be the most awesome thing you've ever seen. Just watch this, you won't regret it. F yeah! Did you see that crap? It takes a special kind of bad to pull that crap off. I think I laughed so hard when I first saw that this movie instantly won points with me. I love bad movies, and this movie does not disappoint. The plot revolves around a young scientist played by Crystal Allen, who you might recognize from the fan film Star Trek of Gods and Men. No? Well, then you probably recognize her from this. She is studying the effects of the blood orchid from the second movie to save the life of her employer, John Rhys-Davies, who must have done something horribly wrong to be in this movie. Now, the last film said that the snakes were large because they lived longer due to the effects of the orchid. Well, that's not the case anymore. Now the orchid makes the snakes bigger, and when in a concentrated form, gives them a scorpion tail. Well, surprise, surprise! The snake gets out and starts killing people. And it's up to freaking David Hasselhoff to capture the snake. The Hoff is the best part of this. He's full on Nick Fury mode, cigar and all.
What? What's your name?
Florian.
Florian? For you.
What?
Halfway through this flick, I expected him to rip his shirt off and wrestle down the snake with his bare chest hair. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. This film is awful, and that's why I like it. The snake is horrible CGI, the acting is laughable, and the effects are hilarious. And oh look, a cast member in the background. I love this movie for all the wrong reasons, and I don't even care. Now we come to the runt of the litter. If Anaconda 3 is an example of a good bad movie, then Anaconda's Trail of Blood is an example of a bad movie. I think the movie was re-edited for the title change from Anaconda 4 to AnacondaS. You see, I think there's only one snake in the movie, but it's edited so weird I can't tell. The plot synopsis says that there's 2 snakes, but I don't think so. Also, the snake looks worse with every movie, and this movie is no exception to that. It looks like a cartoon. It just looks silly. There's a few ha-ha funny bad moments, like when the snake is taking damage after the gun runs out of ammo. And these guys who are breathing while dead. But the film is absolutely miserable to watch. It's full of annoying women, pointless arguing.
Hand me the bag. Amanda, give him the bag. Shut your mouth. Amanda, give him the bag. You, hey, back off.
But we have exactly what your boss asked for. We have exactly what your boss wants.
Stay out of the bag. Back off. Give him the bag.
We found
Give me the bag.
No, I'm serious. That makes up a bulk of this movie. Oh man, the plot tries to tie up all the loose ends after Anaconda 3. Despite reports of his return before this movie was released, the Hoff does not make an appearance in this movie. Crystal Allen reprises her role just to be vague and annoying, and John Rhys-Davies comes back just to die, thus killing off any real talent in this film. This is just a bad movie all around, and there isn't enough funny moments for me to recommend it. Well, it's not a great series by any means, but I personally enjoy it, and I recommend it, or 2 of them anyways. I'm Joey Hollywood, and that was my review of the Anaconda series.
If you like this video, let me know by leaving a comment, and be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to learn more about Joey Hollywood films, be sure to like my FacialBook page and stalk me on the Twitter. Be sure to check out my Patreon page. You can donate as little as $1. Every little bit helps. The money will go to the production of my first feature film, which I plan on shooting in the summer of 2015, and to help improve the overall quality of my videos. Thanks for watching, and while you're at it, why don't you check out these other videos.